That's some good BO, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Those are some nerd bodies stewing in the sun. Thank you. My favorite perfume. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming out here to the Stranger Things panel. I'm going to be your host, and I'm not going to waste any of your time. This show rules. You know that it rules. And I was very, very happy to get to be asked to do this, because this show for me, and for I'm sure a lot of you, is basically my adolescence in the 80s. The only thing that was missing is if one of the kids fell into a Galaga machine and actually had to pilot a ship for real. So today, a little later, you're going to be seeing some footage from the second season that nobody has seen. But let's just start. Let's get into it. Let's bring in the creators of this pop culture juggernaut. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Duffer Brothers. And also the executive producer and director, Shawn Levy. Ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Levy. Okay, now I gotta just start off. Clearly, Duffer Brothers. Can I call you Duffer Brothers as if you're a single entity?
Please.
Can you answer by each doing an alternate word, like you're some weird alien parasitic twins? That would be really cool, because that's how a lot of people think of you, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
all right.
we're dealing with that.
Okay, good. So what was, for the people that aren't familiar, what was the grain of the idea? How did this concept come to be? Did you kind of mash up your adolescence, or what?
Yeah, no, like we're like obviously big movie nerds, have always been. That's what we wanted to do. And we started to get into television as it became more and more cinematic.
Yes.
Shorter seasons, they started to feel like big movies. And so we're like...
I remember it was like True Detective, Cary Fukunaga doing that, and Steven Soderbergh's The Knick, and we just started going, I'm as excited or more excited by this stuff I'm seeing on television, if you even want to call it that.
And so it was like, what would be the ultimate long movie? And it would be Spielberg directing a big, fat Stephen King book.
It's John Carpenter doing this.
Yeah, John Carpenter's
With John Carpenter music, yeah.
Right. So that was the dream, and that was sort of the ambition.
We didn't think anyone was going to make it, so that was a nice surprise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. And then, Shawn, how did you get involved? What made you go, oh?
Well, my executive, Dan Cohen, he comes to me one day and he says, you need to stop what you're doing. I've read the script by these two twin brothers that no one's ever heard of, and it might be the best thing I've ever read. And I read it, and it was. And I didn't know kind of how it was going to work. And again, we didn't know if anyone was going to let us make it, and we definitely didn't know if anyone was going to watch it. But I knew that this combination of an 80s backdrop, genre, and character authenticity was going to be something special, and I told the brothers, you know what, whatever you need, that's what I'm going to do, and let's get this into the world.
Yeah, this was the fastest thing I ever binged. Once I saw the font on the title,
You were in,
I
right?
was like, oh, no, man, that's every Stephen King novel font. That's awesome. Does that font have a name? Did you specifically search that one out, or?
I do remember when we were coming up with the title, we were just testing it out in the font. We wanted something to look good.
Yeah.
It's like in that red, in that font, it was important to look good aesthetically. I think it got tweaked a little bit, but even from our lookbook on, it was a version of that. We wanted to look, like one of those Stephen King paperbacks that we devoured.
I'm sorry, guys. I just know that Hall H loves font questions. Like, that's the first thing I want to know about. They're all
But also,
font-
I mean, it's like, that's an expression of the auteurship of the brothers, is like right down to font. Like they knew what they wanted from the font before we even made the show. And that's how specific.
You knew it.
Yeah, from the ground up.
It's important.
And then the composer, the soundtrack of this show is fantastic. Have you heard about, like, because I remember when Twin Peaks came out in the early 90s, that Angela Badalamente's music began showing up in, like, I would remember going to clubs and they would play that music. Has the Stranger Things theme made its way into any. That's a perfect end of rave song to get everyone to start going home.
Because the Duffers are always at raves.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they are. At concerts, they'll play it before the band comes out and stuff like that. I'm really happy for these guys, Con and Michael, and they're amazing. They're out of Austin. They had never composed for film or TV before.
Really?
They-
What made you pick them then? Like, what?
They had a synth band called Survive, and we were into them, and we tested it over like footage of E.T. and all this stuff that we mashed up together. We thought it was cool, and they did some test samples, and then we said they had day jobs. You can't make a living as an electronic musician in Austin.
Wait a minute, they weren't
Apparently.
making that easy synth
No.
band money?
No, they weren't. I don't know.
Weird. Wait.
They weren't. So I said, will you quit your jobs, do this full time? They were like, hell yes. And here we are.
I love the commitment to the 80s. You went for a synth band. Does one of them play a guitar? Because that would make it even more perfect. There was a guitar in there somewhere.
They've got, I don't know what the hell.
Probably everything.
Everything. Yeah, one of them worked at a used synth electronic store, so.
There was, sorry, a used synth store.
Yeah.
Is there anything more Austin than a used synth store?
Yeah.
That a guy is, sorry, unless you're selling pot out of the back, there's no. Okay, well, how about we bring on the cast from season 1? I'm sorry, hang on. No, I'm being told, ask more synth questions. Okay, so what was...
More fonts.
Or fonts.
Exactly. Well, first out, of course, the girl next door with the tough side, Nancy Wheeler. Ladies and gentlemen, Natalia Dyer. And then, we of course have the Hawkins heartthrob. Please do not rush the stage as Steve Harrington, Joe Keery, ladies and gentlemen. Next, please welcome the best police chief in Hawkins, Indiana. Jay Harbor. Bring it back to, Hellboy's got a dad bod. Okay. And now, already. And now we have the mad scientist who will stop at nothing, Dr. Martin Brenner, played, of course, by Matthew Modine, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Matthew Modine. He was out selling ecstasy all day. Now he's here. That's right. Sit down, Matthew. Yeah. Wow. You're gonna turn into a skateboard. Like, just try to unmellow yourself. Oh my God. There is not a kid in the world who can handle a slingshot better than this guy. Please welcome the ultimate bandana-wearing badass, Lucas Sinclair, Caleb McLaughlin, ladies and gentlemen. And next, we have the kid with the biggest heart, the dopest hat, and the most beautiful smile, Dustin Henderson, Gaten Matarazzo. And now, the only boy who has escaped the upside down, Will Byers, Noah Schnapp, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, the ringleader of the pack and everyone's favorite best friend, it's Mike Wheeler, Finn Wolfhard, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Finn Wolfhard, an actor born with the greatest porn name ever, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey man, thanks.
It is?
Really puts a great thing on my future.
Oh, yeah, I know. Get a good agent, please. You're allowed to say no to things, okay?
Introduce the next guest, huh?
Don't do anything called Stranger Thongs, that's all I'm saying. And lastly, of 10s, be an 11. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the girl who can flip fans with her mind, Millie Bobby Brown. All right, so Finn.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard.
Dude.
How did you... When you nail a take, you look at the camera and go, Wolfhard.
One single Wolfhard. And then they kick me out.
How did you get into the mind of Martin Willie? You really nailed what it's like to be when you're a kid and you're actually a little more mature and intelligent than the other kids, and sometimes that's not an advantage. That, you know, like you kind of, how did you get into that mindset in the show? Because I remember moments like that growing up, like, oh, people don't want you to be this smart. So how did you nail that so well?
I mean, I'm not like that in real life, which is, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool because you can sort of access your intensities and bring out that sort of leader vibe. But I'm not really sure. I mean, being smarter than all the rest of the kids is, I don't think Mike the character realizes that he's really smarter than the rest of the kids. I think he's just like oblivious to everything.
Wow. Wow. Cool. Yeah, that was. And now Noah, and I don't want to make you do any spoilers, but how has your character changed from being in the Upside Down, coming back? Like what? That's a weird question. I don't want to spoil the next season, but I mean, how did you? I'm going to let you try to answer my horrible question fast.
I think this, compared to last season, Will definitely shows more bravery. And then you'll definitely learn how the Upside Down affected Will, and you'll get more into his storyline. But there's not much I can say, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Your producer's glaring at you right now. Sorry.
I see that.
Yeah, exactly. Gate and Caleb, you guys are you guys are playing characters that are faced with a lot of weirdness and horror, and you stay very, very optimistic and upbeat, and you're about to deal with a new character that we're going to meet in a little bit, played by Sadie Sink. How do you think, is that going to change the dynamic of the group, or like what do we have to look forward to from you guys as characters?
These questions, man, the producers are just like staring at us.
No, this one feels safe.
Does it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
No, it's kind of hard to like loop around.
Yeah, like just talk about the story, because I mean, it's a fun story.
You know, we are friends.
Yeah.
I like this answer.
Life.
We meet.
Right?
How's it going? Is it going well?
This is
going
doing
well?
great.
Yeah, thank you.
Caleb, did you have to do slingshot training? Did they? Oh, whoa, okay. Sorry.
You know, I realized that like I did it wrong.
What?
Like I held it weird in the beginning, and then I had to learn how to like the actual day where I had to like try to slingshot the Demogorgon. I was kind of like shooting it at the camera and everyone else around there. So I kind of had to teach myself, and like also like the Duffers were helping me out. They're like, oh, this is a good idea, and so I guess get real training just with like more than one person.
Did you
like
hit Mark in
everyone
the eye though?
Huh?
Did you hit Mark in the eye?
No.
No, okay.
I didn't.
I thought you might have. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, because he was there. You know, I thought I remember you hitting him in the eye. What?
Now, Millie, you have, you have minimal lines in this first season, and you have become this global phenomenon. So how do you play a character that speaks so little but expresses so much? Like, how did you get into that?
I mean, it was difficult because obviously I had very few lines, and I had to do everything, express everything with my face, which is very hard. But it gets easier when you feel more comfortable with your character. The first 2 episodes, actually, I immediately fell in love with Eleven, and Eleven was me. So every day I'd come on set, and I think the only thing that was hard was crying, because I feel like I'm a happy person. So in real life, so that when I'm crying, it doesn't come across. I need like 5 minutes to kind of get in the zone. But other than that, I mean, it was difficult to portray such a hard character. But yeah, like I said, it gets easier. It's hard to keep a straight face with, teen boys, because they play pranks and they tell a lot of jokes, like when I'm doing an emotional scene.
She's talking about David, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm professional, but overall, it was all right.
David K. Harbour.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah!
What's up,
We're not selling timeshares, David.
I got a great one. You get a free clock radio if you just listen to my pitch. Come on, Patton, ask a question.
Well, okay, you and I have kind of become friends.
Yeah, we became Twitter. We have a Twitter bromance.
And so we hang out with each other.
Sometimes.
All right.
Not enough.
Not enough?
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. All right, just wanted to establish that. Question for Matthew. Again, a lot of these questions that I don't, like, here's the question, how is Chief Hopper in season 2? But I don't want you guys have to give stuff away. The last we saw of you, you're leaving Egos for 11. You've accepted, you went from this very cynical, this is nonsense,
Yes.
I believe.
No, I will say something kind of serious. I mean, like, one of the great things about season 1, at least for Chief Hopper, is that he does get to go on such a classic hero's journey, right? Like, he starts out like such a jerk and such a loser and so horrible, and you hate it. No, it's true, and don't worry, I know how to play that. And then by around episode 4, you're like, this guy is super awesome, and if he dies, I'm suing Netflix. I feel the same way. I mean, no, right? Come on. Keep those emails coming, by the way. No one in Hawkins, Indiana is safe. But I will say, so the journey was so satisfying to see him come to life. And I often say that, like, that breath that he takes after he revives Will, where I almost killed Noah Schnapp doing CPR, he sort of wakes up, right?
Yeah.
And so in season 2, it's like, it's a year later, and you can't start where you can't do the same thing. You can't wake up again. So I think one of the really interesting, subtle things about the arc in season 2, which I can tell you, is that there is a psychology of a heroic action where someone does something heroic, and then whether or not they can live up to that in their daily life, or whether or not there are perils even of your own being a savior complex, and the sort of intricate psychology of, like, what that makes you as a human being and the pitfalls of that. So you're going to see a wildly different arc in season 2, but to me it's just as satisfying, like, where we get to in the end. And it all begins with leaving Egos for a character in the woods who he feels like might still be out there, and he's got some daughter issues of his own, as you're well aware. So so I'll just leave it at that.
And then a question that got texted to me, will there be more Sheriff Hopper shirtless scenes?
Yeah, nobody needs to see. That was the one hate mail we got from Netflix. It was like, please, the marshmallow body on David Harbour. Enough with that. I think, hey, whoa,
Body shaming yourself.
We'll definitely, Hopper gets to do some very thrilling, sexy things in season 2. Ooh. So, enjoy, kids.
Question for Matthew. You have played some of my favorite, most difficult, complicated character movies, like Birdie, and thank you. And so you also play a very complicated, ambiguous character in this series. Talk about how you got into that, into your character here. Oh dear.
What's up, San Diego? Anybody here from San Diego that lives here?
Get him out.
Imperial Beach local. Right here. Patton, I don't have any way of answering that question other than to, I mean, the wonderful Duffer Brothers and Sean Levy, they created an amazing script that provided each of us with characters. That's where it all begins, you know. And you take those words and you try to create a character and bring that person to life. It was a great pleasure. You know, I can't be any more complicated than that. I went to acting school and they taught me how to do it.
Wow, nice. Now, Natalia and Joe. Can you tell us, with no spoiler, all the questions again, they're all spoiler questions. I'm sorry, but like, what do you think is going to be happening with you guys? What can you tell us about where you guys are heading in season 2? Huh? You know, but you don't tell anybody. How much talking did you do to the Duffer Brothers about, because they're juggling really all these characters, everyone on the show does have arcs. So how much input or how much did you talk to these guys about where the characters would be going and how they would develop and change? Or
I feel like almost every time a new script would come out, we would kind of read the script and all talk about it, me, Charlie, Natalia, and especially kind of all of our relationships together. And then kind of have a little conference with the boys about, you know, what their thoughts were, what our thoughts were, and then kind of collaborate and come to this agreement.
Collaborate, yeah.
But I also love how you two are playing very standard 80s film archetypes. You know, like the pretty girl and the bad boy jerk boyfriend, but then that's not who you are. You turn out heroic. You turn they add all these dimensions to you, and they seem to have a lot of fun going, let's start them as cliches and then open up all these elements to them.
Right.
Which is really interesting. Was that fun to play? Or?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a credit to these boys for you know, giving us characters that are more than what they seem, that are complex and that feel very real. And that's honestly it's a gift and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's like on the paper, it seems very one-sided, where I remember like reading the first episode, you read the character and he could just be some jerk. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, you want to bring a real person, you know, to this thing that is such a great group of people. So, yeah, I think it's just about trying to like find the human moments in the script and kind of
you guys bring them out. It was really amazing. And I understand that there are some additional cast members you would like to introduce us to now?
I guess I don't know how I got to be in charge of this, but I'm gonna do it.
That's the name was wrong.
The first person I am going to introduce is a new character named Billy, and it's played by Dacre Montgomery. Everybody. And next we have Max, aka Mad Max, played by the wonderful Sadie Sink.
And we have the newest addition to Hawkins Lab, Dr. Owens, played by Paul Reiser.
Thank God I'm here.
Before we talk to them and meet them, Duffers.
Yeah.
Duffer Unit.
Yeah.
Duffer Voltron.
Yeah.
You have something you would like to introduce to the audience?
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is good. We can do this, David.
I mean,
You want to ask a question?
isn't it a question? Don't you want to ask the audience this?
You can ask.
Do you guys want to see some new stuff?
I don't think they do.
Would you guys be interested in seeing maybe a new trailer for season 2?
The Duffer Brothers have asked me, they worked really, really hard on this new season, so they're asking if you would all please take out your cell phones and take the blurriest, most awful footage and put their hard work on the internet, kind of slightly tilted, and you can hear you breathing, going, oh my God, oh dude, this is great, oh God. So please, it would be so respectful for you guys if you, that'd be great, so. Right.
No, we're excited. It's been over a year. No one up here has even seen this thing.
No. Seen it.
You're the first. Can't imagine a better place than right here.
Please. Holy shit! Vincent Price with the Thriller thing! Okay, sorry, I gotta be a moderator. It was great! Very excited right now, sorry. I'd like to talk to the new cast members really quick. The thing with Tanker Montgomery. Tell us a little bit about your character this new season.
Well, just to start, that was amazing. And,
Oh my God.
I was a huge fan of the first season, so this is amazing to kind of see this up there and be part of it. I think a little bit about my character is the Duffers were very vocal with me about playing around with, as you see here, monsters, like as an antagonist, and they kind of wanted to play around with me as a human antagonist. So dropping a little bit of spice into a recipe that you all know and love is an honor, and I hope that I can be scary enough. Well, I won't give away too much else, but it's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Wow. And now, Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser, ladies and gentlemen. I have a question. I worked at Zanies in Chicago a week after you, back in 1989. In the condo, I left a cassette tape. It was Smithereens, and did you?
No, I got it. I have it. I thought you'd ask for it, but I got it.
Okay, I need that back. So you had, I'm gonna assume.
I'm curious if that show will be any good if you see it from a distance, because from like looking up like that, it's unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
It was very close and very low. It's fantastic.
You know what? This next season, the Duffers have asked if you would lay on the floor under your TV and watch it that way. That was, when they show it again, I'm going to try to run down
we all
there.
should.
That was,
Can we all do that?
yeah. Oh my God. Now,
Does it look good from down there?
look good? Now, am I assuming rightly that you're a villain or not, or what? Who are you?
Yes, you're assuming.
I am assuming.
Yes, you're assuming. I won't say. I think it's understandably they're a little nervous about the guy who's coming in to replace this freaking guy who was no good. I always said it. I said it, by the way, in earlier films. I said that guy's no good. So I basically come in from the government to clean up Brenner's mess, and
It's not a mess.
we'll see. Well, not a mess, but it was untidy. It was certainly untidy, and certain things happen.
Okay.
Why do you assume that I'm not like the action hero
Your
guy?
your scenes are sinister.
Yeah.
See, you got wires on a kid's
It was
head.
so tough that they couldn't even put it in the trailer. That's how brutal and lively my stuff.
Okay.
They
I
thought it would be too much for these people.
You're a funny actor, but you're also good at playing sinister. I was not sad when you got eaten in Aliens. I'm sorry. You were a sinister guy. Wow, okay. Maybe that was a little...
You're not getting that cassette back now, baby.
Now, Sadie, you are joining the kids. You are playing a character named Mad Max. So how do you interact with them? What did you like best about doing it? Had you watched the first season?
Yes, I watched the first season. All my friends loved it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like it. I just loved it. I loved it. So that's what made getting the audition really exciting for me, just knowing the show. And I knew Caleb and Gaten before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we were all on Broadway together.
You were on Broadway to get this? Oh my God! Oh my God! I love this!
It's so cute!
Like, Wolf Hard, I'm going to say something. Wolf Hard!
Meet me in the parking lot.
Oh, I will. Not the face though. This is where I make my money. Again, without spoilers, like how do you join the group? Or should we just wait to find this out? I feel weird asking this, but
How to join the group. Oh. So, I mean, she moves from California, so that's how she fits into season 2.
Oh, okay. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to
Right, yeah, I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
anything, but...
Yeah. Now, I wanted to see if we have any questions from the audience. I wanted to open up the panel now.
Spotlight.
Look at the spotlight. That's awesome.
Shannon Parser, Barb from Shannon, come up here. Oh my God.
Shannon, what was your question?
What's your question? I think it was if she was going to be in season 2.
She's not.
I was wondering if Barb is going to be in season 2.
Yeah, I can answer that. No.
Harsh.
Oh, but there will be justice for Barb. Barb will be avenged.
Okay, weird Garth Ennis character, your question.
Hey guys, welcome to our house. Now, Lily and the rest of the cast, give us your favorite funny fan interactions ever since this awesome show is out. Thank you.
Funny fan interaction. Oh, I remember it was in Paris, and like who like pulled, was it Caleb or Gaten out?
What happened?
The Paris story where he got pulled out.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we were. I actually have a funny thing interaction as well, but this one is different. We were in Paris and we were driving out of the building and there were people waiting there. Like we don't know how long they were waiting there, and we stopped and like, okay, it's not that many people. Let's go out and say hi. So I opened up the door to get bear hugged by a teenage girl and literally pulled out of the car. Yeah.
Hugging him so much.
She was hugging me so much. She was hugging me so much. It was great. One of the best hugs ever. It was so gracious. Because I was just so happy. But I was happy to know that people were that appreciative of my work and that they were willing to pull me out of a vehicle in Paris, France. But I have a funny interaction. I was in Denver, and you were.
I was there.
She showed up about 10 minutes after this interaction, and I was at dinner, and we were eating, and these people come up and ask for a picture, and I said, I'll get a picture with you after I finish eating, because I was talking with my agent, and what? No. I said I'll get a picture after I'm eating because I was talking with my agent, my dad. It was all good. Somebody else comes up and says the same things. Mother comes back. She yelled at me. Yeah. She's so upset about this. Yeah, she walked over and just started yelling at me and like for saying no and everything. And I was like, whoa, way out of line. Whoa, hang on now. That was not fun. I got yelled at. Like they passed up my agent, my dad pointed at my face and started yelling at me in the middle of a restaurant. They didn't end up eating there. They were out. They were out. Yeah, it's actually funny now that after it happened, it's like, wow, that was really strange to the point where like you laugh out of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That was an uncomfortable laugh.
Okay. Thank you. Next question.
I was just told I'm the last one.
Oh, so
What's up, bud?
This is our last question, and then we're gonna watch the trailer again. So, yes. So, what is your question, sir?
I had a question for all the actors. What was your favorite part of filming? Ooh.
I'm personally in episode 5. Hopper breaks into the lab and he gets drugged and he winds up on his couch and he wakes up and he thinks that his house is being bugged, and I just tear apart my house, my trailer. And that day we just had a steady cam and we just followed me around and I literally destroyed this entire apartment for about half an hour, to the point that that drool that you see on my face as I'm finally doing the last lamp is just very honest and organic.
The first cut of that episode was like 2 hours. Just David tearing apart that apartment.
I think for me it would be I can't remember what episode it was, but I stole the Eggos from the supermarket. That was a really fun scene for me because, well, I mean, I get to say a line, a mouth breather, and obviously I get to steal Eggos, and it's just a fun scene. And then, you know, the sensory deprivation tank in episode Duffer Brothers? 6?
I mean, it's all over, but 6.
6
Yeah,
is the
6.
big
Yeah,
one.
6. Yeah, and that was really fun because, you know, it was one of the biggest stunts I think I've ever had to do, and it was very interesting to cry underwater. Yeah, so there you go.
Mine would probably be the D&D scene, the opening scene of episode 1. Definitely. So that was also the first scene we ever shot. And also the first scene in the show. And I remember just us like going in there blind and just laughing at nothing. We just like would look at each other and start laughing hysterically. It was hard to get through that day, but yeah, it was really fun.
I think I'm gonna agree with Finn. My favorite scene was that first scene because that's kind of where we all like learned each other through acting, I guess. And I remember Caleb behind the camera kept making funny faces and making me laugh. Yeah.
Ever me. Of course.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Kill?
Yes, your turn.
You know, a lot of fun things happen on set. I would just say like everything, because it was just how it was all created. Like, just we were really excited for the world to see the show. So I would just say everything, because it was just how it built up to the next level, and just like how we got new scripts every month, and we're like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? So I think everything was pretty awesome.
My favorite was the scene when we were discussing, I think it's episode 2, we were discussing what we were gonna do with 11. He's changing in the bathroom and we're like discussing what's gonna happen, and I thought, I'm like, he's trying to get naked. So that was fun. But the reason I loved it so much is because of the reaction that Caleb had to a line when he was laughing at me. Yeah, there was 1 and 2, both episodes were just full of laughter. But the way you delivered that line, he goes, at least she can talk, and she said yes and no, your 3-year-old sister says more. Oh man. He went, she said yes and no, your 3-year-old sister says more. It sounded like he was crying.
Burst out laughing.
Just burst out laughing, remember that thing?
Yeah, I could not stop laughing. I was trying to hold it in, guys, and then like one tear came down my face, and I'm like straight face the whole time.
I don't know if that question was for Dr. Brenner necessarily, but
what a Dr. Brenner thing to say.
If you watched season 1, there wasn't really anything that was a barrel of laughs for Dr. Brenner. I didn't really have a fun scene, but I will say that it's always extraordinary for an actor to have the opportunity to work with another actor and discover a great new talent. So 90% of my scenes were with this young lady right here. So it was a great pleasure to work alongside Ellie, Bobby Brown.
What about you guys?
Going all the way around. Okay. Hitting the Demogorgon with a baseball bat. Duh! It's like 2.5 days of Mark in a big suit and me being like, so sorry, man. And that was probably the most fun.
Yeah, the same. I'd say that whole sequence in the house with Mark and us and Charlie was just the most. It's crazy because it was like such a fun thing to film, and then when you watch it, it was really scary. It's really scary.
Okay, well, we are at an end, but I have to see the trailer again. Can we run the trailer again? I want to go down. I want to hear and see it. I want to go to here and see it.